In 99% sure this is the 19 fault, but my question is this protest worthy? What's the 19 doing? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Sim Racing Stewards, the series where I look at your sim racing crashes and try and discern whose fault it was. Probably yours. If you're unfamiliar with the series, what we do is we head over to the awesome Sim Racing Stewards subreddit and have a look at your user-submitted sim racing incidents. We go through them in detail and try and work out whose fault it was and what can be done differently to avoid that situation in the future. Quick disclaimer from me, I am not a real-life steward. I'm just a guy who's done a bit of racing, both virtually and real life over the last few years. And on that note, if you have any thoughts or questions about any of my particular judgments at any point during the video, feel free to leave a comment down below. Let me know how wrong I am. We are also very slowly closing in on 900k subscribers, so you know, why not subscribe? Why not do that little tickle tool? Where am I? Wah! That's not me. Where am I? Wah! So we're starting off with a particularly cursed post here from I Eat Pineapple on Pizza. This guy, it's his fault. It's his fault, guys, straight away. He says, I am the lead McLaren, and the guy behind me said I turned him. I think it's my corner and he should have pulled back, but I do see his argument. Respect him for not overtaking. Thoughts? Question mark? Let's have a look-see. So this is the bus stop at Spa. McLaren on the outside. Very, very late hit there from the guy behind. Interesting. The guy behind says that it's his corner here. We turn in, and I disagree massively. This is not this guy's corner, and I'm gonna tell you why. So at the point of turning, which is here, you can see this number 6 car is not even alongside us, the Pineapple Pizza guy. Am I going to be siding with the Pineapple Pizza? Oh, I think I am. Oh, but as you see, as we then go into the corner, the guy sort of rolls off the brakes a little bit and just dives into the back of the car in front and causes the collision. There is no way that this overtake is okay. There's no way. It's too late, he's too far back, and it's so half-hearted as well. If you're going to go for an overtake, lunge in there. Put the car alongside the other guy. Do not just nibble at the rear quarter panel, because that's what's going to happen. You're going to always turn the guy there. So I don't have a gavel anymore. What can I use? Ah! Water. Bottle of water. So this is quite an easy one. The number 6 is guilty. I sentence you to learning a definition of what it means to be alongside someone. Because that ain't it. This one is posted by a lopsided ticket and says, I'm in the green car. Is this on me? Where's the green car? Oh, it's back there. Great speed there through the left-hander. We're now alongside, going side by side with the car behind. Now going to be 3 wide going into the corkscrew. This is never a good idea, but we are ahead and we get turned and lunged off to our bag. Big hit, and we're out of the race. So let's watch that again. So in the green car, we had an absolutely awesome run up the hill. I mean, look at this. Look how far back we are here. And then just look at this. We have the best run of the 3 cars going up the hill. Now the road up here does slightly kink to the right, and you see that from the 2 cars at the bottom. They react to that. Of course, now you're already ahead here. So at this point, you are entitled to take the space. You're ahead of both cars here on the inside of you. But they have accounted for this kink coming up, and you don't really have the room to do that, so you're staying as far right as possible. There's a bit more room there, but if you stay that far right, it's really going to compromise your run into the corkscrew and actually make it a bit tighter on these 2 cars on the inside. So you come across, I feel sorry for the guy in the middle here. The guy in the middle gets sort of pincered by the guy on the left. I think if you're going to blame anyone for this incident, it would probably be the guy right on the extreme inside, because he's now squeezing the guy in the black. He has nowhere to go apart from into you, which then causes this crash. And funnily enough, the guy in the black comes out unscathed, whereas you guys get both fired off into oblivion. But I think it's fair to say it's definitely not your fault. And in fact, I'm actually going to put the blame on the white and black car, because look how far he moves over here in relation to his position. He's parallel to the white line here, and then look, dives into the inside. Doesn't account, it just ignores the existence of both these cars, really. For me, white and black car, guilty. Use your mirrors, use your look right, use your look left. You have to know your surroundings before you chop across the circle like that, especially when you've got the spotter being like, man, car on your right. Listen to that guy, he knows what he's talking about. So this is from Intelligent Ad. It says, I'm in 99% sure this is the 19 fault, but my question is this protest worthy? What's the 19 doing? That's a solid move from the 19 there. Leroy! Oh man, I'm not quite sure what he was doing there. Now, I'm not familiar with what particular oval this is, but it seems that at the moment we're following the line of the car in front, which is kind of normal. The 19 seems to go for a move, like wants to try and get up the inside. He has a lot more entry speed. We're at Iowa, by the way. I can see up there. I've learned. The 19, sorry, has a lot more entry speed into this corner. But in an oval, that only means one thing. You're going to end up just sort of scrubbing high. He does that here, tries to slow down a bit, admittedly, to the car here, but by then, just hits him, and round he goes. Now, does it look intentional? I'd argue, if it was intentional, he would have continued to gun it and accelerate into it. It looks like he at least tried to get out of it. I think it was just a very, very stupid move. And I think he realized that about here. He went, oh, this wasn't very clever of me. And by then it's too late. He's going to go into you and it causes a spin. Is it protest worthy? I don't really think so. I think it's just a very stupid move. It's a real shame you're on the end of it. But the iRacing protest system is more for people who intentionally cause wrecks or intentionally try and ruin the experience of the racing. I'm not sure that stupid moves can be protested in that way. But yeah, 19 car. Bro, that's not it. That was an awful attempt at an overtake. I'd go and watch some how to overtake on oval compilation videos or something, because that ain't it. That was pretty bad, even by my standards. Oh. Give me that coffee, though. Oh, man, I'm going to be f***ing... Street Flyer says, I felt I was squeezed. Am I right? Am I wrong? We're in McLaren. We are at Nürburgring again. Down towards T1, the heavy braking zone down here. McLaren on the inside. Red McLaren again on the inside. Whoa! Cars everywhere. My God. So we only have one POV here. So it's quite difficult for me to give you a proper opinion, but we're going to do our best nonetheless. So from what I can tell, the guy that caused this crash is... Where is he? Up here, look. This McLaren up here. He caused the incident. Now, Nürburgring GP T1 is always a bit of a fustercluck, because you get down there and there's one line, it's very tight, and the corner's over 180 degrees, so you turn back on yourself. So getting the right line through here is tricky. Now, we're in the centre on board with this McLaren. Guy on the inside lunges there. Now, we can't see him to the right here, but we can see him on our little header Corsa here. This little white dot here. This is the McLaren now on the inside. So he's got a lot of room there on the inside. We actually, we're going out to the racing line here. And you can see, whilst everyone else is turning right, the McLaren, you can just see him here, is turning left. Still turning left. Comes over, comes over, comes over. Causes an incident and then ruins two people. So Campbell Soup 205. Guilty. You cannot win the race at T1 unless you are Max Verstappen. And you're not. You're Campbell Soup 205. Who is at fault? I'm the Ferrari. Well, we're at Bahrain. Going for the last corner. Side by side with Aston Martin. Good racing so far. Nice and clean. We're now side by side down the straight. Oh. So watching that back, it's clear to me that the pit wall here has turned in to the Aston Martin. You can see from a long time the Aston Martin's making his move there on the pit wall, but the pit wall juts out for no particular reason. Unfortunately, causes this contact. So a real shame there. Ferrari completely innocent, did nothing wrong. Pit wall though, not happy. Guilty to the pit wall. Don't do that. Oh, my favourite. Sternfaust says, have I moved too late on the straight, or was there never a realistic gap? I am the Merc. There's no sound. Okay. Oh, shit.
Excuse me, bro.
I mean, he took the spot in the end anyway, but let's have a look again. You're right on the inside here. Right on the inside. And at the moment, there is maybe a gap there. Maybe. I wouldn't go for it, but there's maybe a gap there at the moment. Now, given that you started here, parallel to the white line, you then went further away from the white line, and then went back towards the white line, I think you reacted to the guy behind there, and that's not on. You kept coming over as well. You could see him there, and you kept coming over, you kept coming over. I think that was a bit naughty, that move. I mean, it's F1 online, so any move like this, the guy's going to try and make it, but the fact you reacted to it and kept coming across, that's it. The reaction is the bit that's not okay. You're only allowed one move while defending, and for me, that move was when you then started to move away. And then the reaction is the second move. In the end, it didn't really matter because the guy got past you anyway, but if that had caused an incident, you would 100% be at fault for that. There's my bottle of water. So,
Another one.
guilty. Do not weave in a straight line. It's a straight. Go straight. This is from the Milser. Orange is on the qualifying hot lap. Green's X in the pits. Who is at fault? Oh man, this has got a lot of redacted on it. So, run a hot lap. People X in the pit lane. Have a look again. So coming out the pit lane, this is something that I think is a fairly universal rule on many series. That if you come out the pit lane and you're on an out lap and you impede the person on the flying lap, it's an instant penalty. Because you're not racing for anything, you're warming the car up. The guy behind's out there doing his lap and you're getting in the way for no particular reason. Now, at Silverstone, it is tricky because after T1, the pit lane comes out on the racing line. You want to be to the right for the first part of Magnus and Beckett. So that's why we sort of cross over as the Audi here. To be honest, both these cars, in my mind, should have been wary of blue flags because he's going to be slow through the first section because he's got cold tyres, and this guy can see the car right behind. There's no one behind him. In my head, this guy should be on the brakes, getting out the way of this car coming through on his flying lap. Instead, he doesn't do that. He rolls into the racing line, slows down a little bit, but not enough, and the Audi goes round. For me, it's 100% the fault of the green car. Now, I know people might argue that, well, the orange car just maybe should have just gone at the inside, but why should the orange car have to give up the racing line on his flying lap to a guy coming out the pit lane? It would be similar to walking into the fast lane on the M25 and then complaining about being absolutely mowed down by a clapped out transit van. It's going to happen if you do that. So yeah, no excuse for the car coming at the pits. You got relatives, you got blue flags, a lot of things change to get out of the way, and he didn't do so. In the bin. Should I have been that close? Ask Electrical Sky. I can't read. Is it my fault that I blew up the engine? Yes, but I want to hear your opinion on this. He did this despite the braking point being a fair amount of meters ahead. Feels shitty. Maybe he didn't intend to brake check, but as a blink of the brakes means... Okay, let's have a look. What? A lot happened there in a very small space of time. So we are... This is MX-5s in our racing. Usually the rookie series, so you tend to have some incidents here. We're going down to the hairpin, great overtaking spot, guy on the inside, stabs the brakes, and again. And then as a result, we blow up our engine. So you blowing up your engine, as you say, is 1,000,000% your fault. Should you have been that close? It's racing. Get as close as you want. If they can't deal with that, that's their own fault. But of course, the closer you get, the bigger the risk that if something happens ahead, you do not have time to react. Sim racing used to have this weird problem with like gentlemanly rules online where, oh no, don't overtake on the first lap. It isn't, oh, that all off, you're racing. For me, it doesn't look like, there is a blinking of the brakes here, so like that you can see. But it doesn't look like it's malicious. It looks like someone who is not very experienced at what is going on. And given that we're already quite far behind the rest of the pack, I'm going to say that maybe this guy isn't usually a front runner. In fact, he's the 38 car, which usually means he has the 38th highest I rating in that split, if there are 40 cars in the race. I don't think it was a brake check because he then tried to move out your way at the end and panicked. And I think that maybe you reacted a bit too aggressively by just smashing the throttle and downshifting. To me, it looks like a racing deal. It seems that maybe not the most experienced people in this race. And when you get out of rookies, stuff like this is a lot rarer. But in rookies, you have to keep that in the back of your head when driving around. Not everyone is going to be on confident the circuit as you are. Should I have given the spot back, says Simmons. Oh God. Well, given your car's already all kinds of banged up, I'm going to guess that maybe there's a theme to some of these incidents here. Into the first Lesmo, we have the inside. Still there. Still on the inside. Short corner at this point. No. No. So, at this point, in the corner, you are now ahead. You've made it. You're ahead of the guy in front. He should know that, and he has to give you that room. He can't just keep driving like you're not there anymore. To be fair, it isn't helped by your kind of bad exit here. You hit the curb because the car gets unsettled. But the guy behind drives his line like there's nothing going on behind him. As a result, he then gets pinged off because of a Assetto Corsa. In real life, that contact would have probably been nothing. Maybe just a little nudge between the two of you. If anything, it would have unsettled you and not him. But because we have netcode to contend with, it sees his contact as a big one and spears him off instead. So I think this guy did really well to hang it around the outside for as long as he did, but in reality, the move was lost. It goes back to what we were saying earlier about knowing when to just let yourself be overtaken, you know. Sometimes it's not worth fighting that hard especially when this could be the result. So yeah, I'm giving that a firm not guilty to our guy overtaking. It was a good move. Just, I think that little moment on the inside of the second Lesmo caught you out a little bit and caught the guy out behind you a bit more. Oh, another Lesmo incident. This time from Crypt Ghoul. Am I at fault for this incident? I'm now ain't looking good. Ain't looking good, bro. Oh my. Okay, so McLaren obviously has had an incident or something, going very slow between the two Lesmos here. We're in second gear, the guy in front is streaking away from us. So I'm going to put this on the Porsche, and I'm going to tell you why. Now, the McLaren is slow, but we are currently chopping over the nose of the McLaren. We are ahead, so it is kind of our trap, but then as the moment we are alongside, we slam the brakes on. The McLaren probably can't even see our brake lights when we do this, because we're so close and we're sort of hovering on the front quarter here. He has no time to react to this, and bear in mind he's still getting back up to speed, so his braking point is going to be a bit later than yours as well, given that he's not carrying as much speed into this corner as you are as a Porsche. I don't really understand why you're coming across so violently here, because you're going to actually hurt this corner if your car is already pitched to the left when you need to turn right. So I'd say this incident is on the Porsche. Not intentional, 100%, but it's just like a little bit, you're trusting a bit too much in the other driver that he knows automatically what you're going to do. There's no way this guy can predict you just slamming on the brakes and coming across like that. But he's going to have zero time to react, and the guy is already obviously recovering from an incident, so he's sort of more focused on that. Sometimes you've got to think a little bit further ahead than just, I'm going to take the place, it's my line, I'm entitled to this. Because whilst you are right a lot of the time, it doesn't matter. You can still end up involved in an incident because somebody else isn't in that same headspace as you. So I'd say the Porsche is guilty for this contact, but I think the punishment here is nothing because he learned his lesson pretty quickly here. Do not chop in front of other cars and slam on the brakes. You will be rear-ended. 1,000,000%. An angry Australian in the white blamed me, the blue, for this. Force ended up with a 6X. What a legend. This better be a very angry Australian now. So this is VIR, going down towards T1. We're actually ahead slightly, but we lose the corner. And, stupid yeah, that was odd. I mean, neither of you seem to make the corner there. You seem to turn into each other, if I'm being honest here. So the line is here. You see the line? It's that little darker little bit of tarmac there. He goes wide. You're kind of turning into it. If anything, it looks like the white car has gone slightly deep into the corner. But you have sort of turned into the side of him there as well. So, have you? The steering wheel? Your wheel's relatively straight when this contact happens, so I think, if anything, the white car was a bit too hot into the corner there and caused the initial contact, in my mind anyway. But he then drives over you, which wasn't necessarily the end there, so... Yeah, the guy's locked up. He's missed the corner. This is on him. You can see here, so he's gone wide into the corner. Look at that right front tyre. A little bit of a lock before this contact, so you can see he's gone too fast into the corner. You've given him all this space on the inside, which he's refused to take and instead decided to drive straight. You then spun, which happens sometimes. So you get back away again. And he sort of just drives into the back of you there. That second one's a bit shitty of him, but I'd say it is on this guy in the white. I mean, he was defending a bit too hard, locked up, went into the side of you, the contact happened, and then this is one of those racing deals, you know, but it would be on the white guy there for just blowing the corner and then causing the contact initially. He'd probably get in more trouble for the little ram afterwards because there was no reason to do that. You were going at very slow speeds. He saw you in front of him and then just continued to hit the throttle into you. So, as you said, 6X for that. Bit of a shame, but guilty to the angry Australian. Anyway, guys, that was another episode of Sim Racing Stewards. Again, let me know in the comments below if you agree or disagree with any of the judgments that I've put out today. Always very, very interested to hear your opinions. And before we end off, I wanted to say a massive thank you to the channel members and Patreons. And if you're interested in supporting the channel yourself, you can do so by hitting the join button down below or checking out the Patreon link in the description. Take care, have an awesome day. See you all for the next one.